Hello and welcome to Knowledge by Nature. In today's video, we're going to take you along with us on a day in the life. If that's something you're interested in, stick around. All right, welcome back. If this is your first time here, I am a homeschool mom to a soon-to-be third grader. We love all things books, homeschool, and sharing our journey with you. And if that is something you're interested in, I would love if you would consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you enjoy our day, give us a thumbs up. So we are starting a little bit slow this morning. I had her in here working on one of these little plus sets, and she's also going to be working on some Legos sometime. That's why that is on the table. But this is how we are starting our slow morning. But we're about to get started. We're finishing breakfast, and we're bringing you with us. All right, so we are in our fourth quarter of homeschool this year, which, wow, I can't believe that we are already there, but we have exactly 40 days of second grade left, which means we've wrapped up some of our curriculums, which means that our day looks just slightly different. Now, with that, I've decided, you know what, fourth quarter, let's try something I've never done before, which is plan out my entire week with going and seeing what lessons I'm going to do and exactly what I think our week should look like. I gotta tell you, I tried it yesterday. I checked all the boxes. It feels real good. And I liked this. And so this could be something that continues. No promises, but if you haven't done it, I encourage you to maybe give it a try. So what I have done is I went through and I put down what lesson that I kind of want to do, maybe some of the books that I want to reference. She has a Lego build that she's going to be working on for the library, so I went ahead and I jotted that down, as well as we have started reading eggs back. We kind of took a break from that, so I put these two notes down yesterday so that I remember to kind of utilize those because it's not something I'm generally used to doing. Now, what I want to do is I want to start checking off my boxes here, and I don't want to just jump in to a math or a reading, but I also don't want to save all of those for the end. So what we're going to start with this morning is what your second grader needs to know, and we are going to read some poems out of that, as well as read some of our history. We have switched over to U.S. history for the rest of the year because we finished our story of the world. So that is what we're going to start with. Like I said, she already started with Legos, so it's a slow morning, and Tuesdays are a day that is a home day. We have usually one day a week that we don't leave the house, and most of the time that falls on a Tuesday. So this is the book I was talking about, What Your Second Grader Needs to Know. It's really quite big. It's very, very colorful, and it has all of the subjects in it. We have used this periodically throughout the year, and we're using it a lot more here at the end. Yesterday, we read a few of the poems, which are right here, and we discussed these into detail as to what do you think this is meaning, and just kind of looking at this a little bit in depth versus just reading it. Today, I have that we are just going to read Smart by Shel Silverstein. My dad gave me $1 bill, 'cause I'm his smartest son. And I swapped it for 2 shiny quarters, 'cause 2 is more than 1. And then I took the quarters and I traded them to Lou for 3 dimes. I guess he don't know that 3 is more than 2. Then just along came old blind Bates. Hi. Yes. Oh yes, puppy kisses are the best. All right, thank you. Just then along came old blind Bates, and just 'cause he can't see, he gave me 4 nickels for my 3 dimes, and 4 is more than 3. And I took the nickels to Hiram Combs down on the seed feed store, and the fool gave me 5 pennies for them, and 5 is more than 4. And then I went and showed my dad, and he got red in the cheeks, and closed his eyes and shook his head, too proud of me to speak. What did he start out with? How much money did he start out with?
$1.
$1. And Hello. Yes. Are you saying hi? Yeah. Okay. Go on. Go on. Get out of the way. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Okay, so he started. All right, so we started out with $1. What did he end up with?
He ended up with 5 cents.
5 cents. And so he thinks that 5 pennies, which is 5 cents, was worth more than $1. Is that true?
No.
No.
He's getting less and less and less.
He does. That's right. His amount is decreasing every single time, isn't it?
It's his smartest boy, and then his smartest boy gets not so smart.
That's right. That is right.
I kind of know everything, you know?
So I'll just go ahead and move this over here because that's what we're going to read tomorrow. And since we're already down here with this book, I'm going to move to my next section for history. We are starting back with the War of 1812 is where this kind of begins. And now we're moving over to the westward expansion. Such a distraction, I gotta tell you. Such a distraction. All right.
Hey, don't eat the book. Here.
Do you remember learning about the Louisiana Purchase in the first grade book of this series?
No.
No, you don't, because we didn't do that. So I don't have this one. I did not have this for first grade, but I think I am going to browse the book outlet and see if I can find this on there for third grade and get it for third grade, because it's pretty handy to have around, especially for this time of year when we've wrapped up a few other things. I don't want to buy anything new, but I do kind of want to cover a few other things. It was a great bargain for the United States. France claimed a lot of land in North America, but wanted to sell it. So President Thomas Jefferson bought it. And zing, just like that, the Louisiana Purchase. It was a great bargain for the United States. France claimed a lot of land in North America, but wanted to sell it. So President Thomas Jefferson bought it. And all right, sorry, Puppy was not having it. So we read about the Western expansion, and we were talking about adding in the Louisiana Purchase. I actually picked this up as a resource to use from the library. So we're going to pull out one of the states that we're kind of talking about, and because it says Louisiana, I think I'll just pull Louisiana out today, and we will read that. This is a pretty book. It's in alphabetical order, and it just has a little bit of information about all of the states. You have the state that is drawn here and some of the bigger things that you might encounter in Louisiana, and then it has little facts about when they became a state, what state number they were. This is he's back.
He's back again.
So anyways, this is a pretty neat little book, and one I may end up purchasing later, depending on how much we like it. So we're going to read Louisiana, just because that is covered here. No rhyme or reason to pulling that besides this fact right here. So we're going to finish reading that up, and then we'll get back to what is next. All right, so I'm just going to put a check mark here on the things that I completed. And she is pulling out her handwriting without tears right now, and she will complete that while I pull out our next thing that we're going to do. I think we will go ahead and go over to math today. We are actually doing it's on measurement, so this should go really, really quickly, actually. So she's going to finish up her handwriting without tears, and I'm going to get our math pulled. Real quickly, I thought I would show you that what your second grader needs to know is available on Book Outlet right now. That doesn't mean it's going to be on there very long, but if you're interested in this book, they have it for $8.71 today. There is an extra 20% going right now, so it would be a little bit higher on a normal day, which I think would be like $10.89. They didn't have one for third grade, but they do have the second grade one. I will put my referral link to the Book Outlet below. If you have never used the Book Outlet, you get a savings, and I get just a little bit of a kickback for it. All of this is purchased with my own money. I just get a little bit of kickback if you use my code. So, wanted to share that with you in case you were interested in that book. Now, I'm pulling math. All right. So, yesterday, because we had a few different writing sets, I had broke out these 2 days here, so I did that in advance. Again, kind of ahead of the game here. So I'm just going to check her stuff really quick, give her a grade, and then we will move on to math. So there's a few little independent things that she can always grab if I'm grabbing the next set or something like that. Now today, all right, so we're going to be doing math, and it says that we're page 31 through 34 today, which is just a little bit more than we had been doing because we have been doing measurement and then a section out of the multiplication on each day. But today we're just going to do this one. So we're going to start with that. You use this little piece of paper to kind of cover up half of it so that they don't like automatically reveal how we would figure this out. But I think this will actually go rather fast today just because measurement goes quickly most of the time. How can you compare the heights of the sandcastles? So we have 3 different sandcastles. How would we compare them?
By their height.
Okay.
So it's 18, 32, 23, and if we're finding the biggest one, this is the biggest, and if we're finding the smallest, this is the smallest.
That is right. So we'll go right here. It wants to know 32 minus 23. So what are they comparing here?
This one.
They're comparing the difference between those two. So what is the answer to that?
So I'm just going to flip it.
Very good. Moving it into vertical form is always your better idea. So 32 minus 23 equals 9. So Evan's sandcastle is how many inches shorter than Samantha's?
9.
All right, very good. Now we're looking at 32 and 18. So what 2 sandcastles are we looking at this time?
The ones that I marked.
All right, so Samantha's and Anya's. So how are we going to do that one? You're going to switch to vertical form. Very good. So now Samantha's sandcastle is how many inches taller than Anya's?
14.
Whose sandcastle is the tallest? You already figured that out, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yep. And whose sandcastle is the shortest? Correct. All right, now we go over to this next section where it says learn together. We're going to continue to work on this together, and then when it gets to the practice on your own, she will do that completely on her own. So there's a front and a back to that one. So we are going to continue to walk through this together. I will have her move over to this, and then we'll catch up with you later. All right, now we are moving on to our Memoria Press spelling. Another one of the reasons I didn't have her do quite as much of her handwriting without tears is because I knew she would be doing this page right here, which is actually quite a bit of writing. So we are going to start with looking at our spelling words for the day, and then we are going to do this activity over on our board. First, we do this say, spell, say thing where we say sink, S-I-N-K, sink. And we do that with every single one. Then I'm going to go ahead and have her do the activity 2. So we're going to go ahead and get this part done, and then I'll show you this little activity that we're going to do. Our activity today was going to be that we create 7 columns, and she separates out the words into the columns, but she wants to play a version of Hangman instead. They have different games in the back, and Snowman is a version of Hangman. So you do a little snowman on the board, and then she tries to guess the word before the snowman disappears. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take one of the spelling words. She will guess a letter, and if she gets it wrong, we will take it off of the board. So what do you want your first guess to be?
S.
S. Ooh. Sorry. Button removed. I. Good guess, but no. So no S. No I.
E.
Ooh, okay. We have an E. Ooh, no. So remember, we're dealing with NGs, CKs, NKs, and then our three doubles.
Well.
Well, you're right. Good job.
It was a well and you said it.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll see how many words you can get before your snowman disappears. Okay, what would you like to begin with?
B.
A B. Okay.
Buzz.
How do you spell buzz?
B-U-Z-Z.
That is right. B-U-Z-Z. You got 0 things removed. Awesome.
Yay!
Okay. Next word. What would you like to begin with?
G.
A G? Well, that's not a vowel.
I just wanted to say.
No G.
Ring! R. I. I'm just saying it.
I.
S. Wait. You put...
What spelling word is ISS?
The
definition would be if you do not hit the target.
Miss.
There you go. Miss.
I was thinking you were going to put the S right there.
All right, now we've moved on to the workbook page. We had continued to play the game for quite a while. And then what she'll do here is she's writing out all of the different vowel sounds. Then over on this section, she will rewrite all the words again in pencil and then with her colored pencils. So this takes a little bit, and one of the reasons that I make sure that I don't have too much writing back to back, because this particular page is quite a bit of writing. Now, not all of the pages are like that. I'll give you another example while she's working on that. The first 2 pages look like this, which is a little bit more writing than you have the rest of the week. Here, for tomorrow, you can see she's only writing 7 of the words. This day, day 4, we actually use as more of the test day. You can give the final test on day 5, but for me, she's pretty much testing on day 4 because she's not seeing anything, and we are doing the sounds. We're having to spell the spelling words without looking at them, and she has a sentence that she will write without being able to look at anything. So I consider this a test for her. If there is a day that one of these we're kind of having a hiccup on, then we can spend that 5th day working on some of them by playing Ziggy games or other games. But this is generally how our week goes with Memoria Press, is we do a 4-day. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. And then day 5 is either just going to be no spelling or it is going to be game spelling. So that is how we do that. Like I said, this page is going to take her a little bit because she will have to write all of these. She will go back and she will mark the blends with blues, the consonant with blues. She'll have to slash the silent E. She'll color all of the vowels red, as well as mark them with a breve or a macron. So this will take her just a little bit, but then we will get moving on after that. All right, we had to take a moment to build a blanket fort. So she has built a blanket fort, and now we are going to move on to our Tinker Active English and the critical thinking section that we were doing in our Evan Moore. This one, you actually end the project with a little tinker craft, but we actually started with that yesterday. So she created a little lion craft that we did right here. I'll show it to you. All right, so here is the little craft that we made. I think it's pretty cute. The sticker came as part of the book, but then everything else we just crafted. So like I said, normally we would do this craft at the end, but I thought it would be fun to kind of have this little guy with us the whole time. And we are working on reading some literature here. So we were talking about the fable. So what I'm going to have her do is I'm going to have her read this to me today. I am going to help. I'll probably do like every other paragraph or something like that. And then we will move on to doing these pages. So I had in my planner that we would do page 52 to page 55 because everything kind of works pretty smoothly with that. But if we get to feeling like it's a little bit too much, then we can stop. But I think it'll be fine because this page is really just drawing pictures. And then we would go to the craft, which we have already done. So we are going to go ahead and start reading our fable here of the Lion and the Mouse. And then we will go to these next sections and talk about who were the characters, how did the characters meet, and I may not necessarily even have her write all of this. That is another trick to these workbooks is if you have a reluctant writer or you've had other things that involved a lot of writing, don't make them write it. Just have them answer verbally and you can write it for them. So since there is a drawing portion, I will probably write some of this for her, but that is how we use our workbooks. If she doesn't feel like writing, I write it for her because then I have her write in the things that I feel are more important for writing, for practicing our handwriting, or if we were actually writing a story, then that would be where she could step in and do some more of the writing. But we're going to get started on this, and then we will touch base with you again when we get started with our critical thinking. All right, we finished up our Tinker Active where we talked about the characters of the story, and so she drew lots of things. There were lots of drawing opportunities here, so she drew that, and then I would write out the parts that we're just writing out the part of the story. And so that was this. And so we have finished that section. And now she actually gets to put a little sticker. So we'll put this little lion sticker on number 7. What's really fun about these is when you finish, you get to take this section out and there's a little magnet under there. We have one somewhere. So these are some that we got a few years back. So here was our kindergarten science one and our first grade science one. And they're just little magnets with the Tinker characters on it. Really cute. They've been fun to add. And it's always nice to have magnets in the classroom. So we have finished up our lesson for that for the week. And now we're going to go into our critical thinking. This book is pretty cool because really you can start wherever. We've already done the bats and bugs, and so we decided to do the alligators and turtles this week. We started with reading the facts about the alligators and the turtles. We had all sorts of resources pulled out yesterday, our DK books and different encyclopedias for animals. Today I have that we're going to do 11, 12, and 13. And then on Wednesday we're going to do 14, 15, 16, and 17. And then let's see here. We have 18, 19, and 20. And then on Friday we'll finish with 21 and do the little craft here, which is included, which I think is really, really nice that everything is included. So this is definitely something that kind of needs to be scheduled out multiple days because it would be quite a bit to do all of this in one day. You definitely could because you're homeschool. You can do whatever you want. But we're going to work on finishing up our alligators and turtles. And then we're really just clicking off quite a few things here. So we did this, and we're about to do this. So the only big thing that I have is all about reading, which is actually, it's not a story today, so we are going to spend some time reading. We may utilize reading eggs since All About Reading does not incorporate a story today. So one of the things that I think is really cool about this new concept that I have added for myself is that if I have all of this checked off, we have the afternoon to, if it's a free afternoon like today, we can cuddle up and we can read. We can have tea parties. We can play lots of games. We can really do whatever we want, which is, I think, fantastic. If I was needing to work in the afternoon, this is working really well because I'm making sure that I get everything done. If we have free time and we want to add more things in, then we can. I think she's wanting me to show you this. She pulled this off the bookshelf, and I think she's wanting to start reading this. Looks like she might have already started it. So she may be spending a little bit of time. You know what? We may both be spending some time on this rainy afternoon, cuddled up, reading our own books today. So that is something else I'm really enjoying about this, is that I know I've got the things that I really wanted to get done, and then we can figure out the rest of it. So I feel like I took a rabbit trail there. We are going to jump into this, and then we'll check back in with you later. Here is another reason that I didn't go ahead and add on a second chapter to math today, because I knew that we had math word problems as part of this critical thinking. So I really am becoming quite the fan of this pre-planning situation. But here we go. There were 17 sea turtles walking across the beach. There were 12 sea turtles sliding into the water. How many sea turtles in all? So this is your workspace. You can write it all out if you want to, and then you put the answer. So what are we doing to find in all? Good job. Okay, what is this one?
A sea turtle swam after a group of crabs. There were 18 crabs in the group. The sea turtle ate 7 of the crabs. How many were left?
Okay, how do we figure that out?
Minus.
Very good. Okay, what about this one?
There were 3 sea turtles. The first turtle ate 8 seagrass plants. The next turtle ate 5 shrimp. The last turtle ate 4 jellyfish. How many plants, shrimp, and jellyfish did they eat in all?
Okay, so there were 3 sea turtles eating some stuff, huh? So what are they asking us for?
Okay, so it says, how much stuff did they eat in all? Is what that
Okay, so we want to know what the
So-
3 sea turtles ate.
So let's do this R here. So let's put 8 plus 5 equals 13. 13 plus 4 equals 17.
Very good.
So there's 17 things in all.
Very good. All right, I just wanted to show you guys that it was pretty fun that there was some word problems in there. So we have one more that we're going to do. Well, one question and then one more sheet, and then we'll catch back up with you. I hope that you're enjoying this day in the life. If you are, please give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, will you please consider hitting that? We would love to have you join our team. All right, see you in a minute. All right, last major thing to check off today is all about reading. We absolutely love this program. We started with pre-K and now we are on level 3. You can see that we are right at the end. And how I use this, and I will put a link right here of how I set this up, is I have a separate binder that all of the completed activities go in. This makes it where it's nice and organized so that when I go to resell it, or this year one of my friends is actually getting it, it is a complete set, completely ready to go. So this also would work beautifully for multiple children, because then you have the binder set up and ready to go for the next child. We are on lesson 51. There are a total of 54 lessons, so we are wrapping up this. It's so exciting. They always have a little character that is kind of our partner in crime, I guess you could say, for reading, and It's a little monkey this time. He's so fun. We've liked him a lot. Ziggy is the very beginning, which if you've watched us for very long may know a little bit about Ziggy. So today we are talking about the phonogram EA, which has already been introduced before. So we are just talking about the last sound, which makes A. We will do that today. We'll talk about this. I will build some things on the board. Then we have a cute little cat activity sheet where she will use the little cutouts and read the words on the back. We'll go over our reading words, and then we have a little practice sheet of where we are practicing words with those. One thing I might say is if you are using All About Reading and you're fairly new to it, or you're just, still learning things about the program, if this is too much, don't have them read everything in one day. Don't overwhelm them, especially in the beginning levels. I feel like these pre-reading sheets are a lot. So just break that out into easier chunks, or maybe every other, or something like that to help with that. That was one struggle we had for a little bit, but either way, this is a fantastic reading program. We love it. It has worked so well. And we will be using a level 4 sneak peek into next year. So we're going to get this started. We're going to finish this up, and then we are going to have lunch and be done for the day. Like I said, we're definitely going to cuddle up and read together, but overall, I have hit the big things. I have covered quite a bit of stuff today. So we have done reading, we have done history, we have done science, we have done math, we have done handwriting. There's a fun little puzzle book that she has that is called the Word Ladder. I'll probably pull that out for her to do, and so I'll write that down here. But having this set up is really, really helpful. I like this a lot. Let me know down in the comments. Do you pre-plan? Do you go like I usually do, where you just kind of go with the flow and do whatever? That has always been the way for me. I have never done it this way, but I can really see some value into this. I hope you have enjoyed this. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about any of the things that we did today, please let us know, and we'll see you in our next one. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Bye!